Hello, it's Dean here, and today we're going to be doing a play and explain of NL50 using an exploitative strategy using Pokertracker 4's HUD to consistently get the best of our opponents and hopefully make a good bit of money. So this is at Brandon's request, so thank you for requesting this, Brandon. I'm not exactly sure where I'll be posting this, whether on YouTube or just individually giving it to you. I'm not, but time will tell. So I hope everything looks to be in order. And let's play some poker. So we got King 6 offsuit in the big blind. Getting raised here. I think to a mini raise I can just go ahead and call. This guy's short stacked, so he's definitely could be a little bit worse off. A little bit of a worse player. It's usually a telltale sign of a bad player being short stacked. I think I'm just going to call with King high. Oh, that's nice. Just going to raise now. Yep, I probably had ace high. Does he have an 8? He had an 8. Oh, that sucks. Yep, that guy does in fact look kind of like a fish. I haven't been tagging players too often in NL50 because I haven't been playing NL50 in like a month or so. So I don't have a lot of tags for fish and everything, but this guy's stats are starting to definitely look like that. We have a regular Missile Dur over here. His stats look incredibly nitty right now. I wonder if that's a new style he's playing, or if he's, I just don't have enough hands on him yet. Used to play with this guy a lot, like 6 months ago. We flop a 2 Broadway board with the gut shot to the nuts, so this is definitely a bet out of position. We're going to bet again. Oh. Getting raised. I have to call $2 to win 9. Out of position. I think we just fold. We only are happy with a queen, and we just not really getting the right odds for that. Already finding some resistance. Definitely going to be constantly table selecting as well. Looking for these bad players. Let me start getting some of my tags back. It's not that much of a difference, honestly, between NL50 to NL100 to NL200 to NL50 to NL30 to NL10. The main difference, of course, is there are just simply more regulars and less recreational players. And once you go even higher to like NL100 NL200, there's more good regulars, less bad regulars, less recreational players. So the games just get a little bit tougher. But the way the fish play is very similar to how they would play at NL2 or NL5, but some of them are a little bit different, more aggro, a little bit less of calling stations just because the money feels so much more real. So ultimately, though, our strategy against a lot of the players remains the same throughout the stakes. You're just going to find more of a certain player type at each stakes. This guy has raised 4 out of 5 times. Ace 8-10 suited is certainly not a raise. Oops, I have this guy tagged as the wrong thing. Whoops, I have this guy tagged as the wrong thing. M. Durich, I have thousands of hands on him. I have like about 10,000 hands plus on him lifetime. But again, I only use my hands for the last 12 weeks. That way I'm seeing the players, or having stats on the players for the most recent game, because over the course of 3 months, people can definitely make large adjustments to their game, especially at stakes like this when people are just learning and trying to get better. It's got a tough spot over here. This guy bets out. Ace-King in the big blind. This guy's looking pretty crazy. Pete's a fish I play a decent amount of with NL100. Just limps. We're definitely going to be raising. We use 2.75, 5.5 big blinds, 5 big blinds, or 4 big blinds for raising with a limper, and then 5 big blinds for being out of position, and then half a big blind when the small blind limps. Definitely want to be betting and probably just double barreling here. We can definitely bet again on any spade, any king, any ace, any face card. That card I do not think is a card we want to be betting twice with. I think we could just check this one back. Looking at this guy's stats, he doesn't seem to fold to a turn super often, even though he's folded to a c-bet twice. It's not a very scary card. I think we're better off as a check. The board pairs. He's probably going to end up bluffing to if he missed a. Doesn't bet the river very often, or he can definitely just fold. No worries. We have Bargain to our left. He's another player I've played with a very large amount. I would have more hands than him if it wasn't for this 12-week thing, but seems like he's getting a little bit more 3-betty. He's always played short stacks. He's not a very good player. His stats are looking better than usual, though. Honestly, those don't even look that bad. It's looking more and more regular. We got Boots. I remember Boots was certainly a... Reynaldo raises. He's a very tight range for middle position, as we can see, 13%. Ace-9 is certainly getting dominated very often by that range. There's no point in playing this hand then. The only thing is this guy folds to 3-bets about 70% of the time. But from this position, there's going to be a little bit less opportunity for him to do that. He really starts to widen up in the button and the cutoff. It's where we want to be 3-betting him the most. Jack 3 suited. It's going to be a fold. This player is seeming pretty bad. This player is seeming pretty bad. Ace-10 offsuit, just barely good enough to raise. Sucks we have these fish right to our left. We definitely wish the fish were to our right. This guy seems pretty aggressive too, so definitely want to calm it down. I think we just checked here. It's a coordinated small board, which is definitely better for his range than it is for ours. But when he checks once, I think we can definitely bet. We get the 10 on the turn. I think there might be some value had to betting here. But I think he might have a queen if he calls that turn. I think there's some value to betting. I think we're just going to do it. If I get raised or anything, that's fine. Oh, he does have a queen. I thought he would have bet out with that. I think he's probably going to call with all of his under pairs with people with stats like that. So definitely a thin value bet that didn't quite work out. We were probably going to have to call a bet, which maybe made it better than betting ourselves, because that means he can put more bluffs in. But it also means he gets to check back his small pairs. Don't think we really played that one too badly. Always table selecting, though. Don't really have a great seat at this table to our left here. This seems like a pretty good place to play. So does that place? We don't really want to be raising with Queen 8 here. With middle pair, we mostly just want to be looking to check fold in a 4-way pot. There's really no point of... we still probably are beat to like a 9. He bets 50 cents. Now this guy does tend to bet a lot, so I definitely am not convinced we're beat from this guy. Another card we don't really want to see. There really wasn't that many cards we did want to see, other than a queen or an 8. Let's see if this guy decides to bet the river. He doesn't usually bet the river very often, so I think this guy probably has us beat at that point. Limps. I think this is a good opportunity to raise. This hand you don't have to play from the small blind, but it's not a bad hand to play. Boots does not usually call a raise after limping, which means it's usually just free money. King deuce suited I'll play if it folds to me, which it does. I'm only playing this hand because we're playing against bad players, and we might be able to get a decent amount of value. It's a pretty decent board for us. We definitely want to bet. We have a 4 over here. We're just going to win. Yep, take it down. Power of position right there. Power of raising. This guy limps. With a suited connector, we can definitely raise. We don't want to be stealing this guy's blind. This guy likes to 3-bet small blind a lot. Small blind open. So I think we're just going to fold 10-5 offsuit. This guy folded to steals more often and didn't 3-bet as much. I would definitely be trying to steal his blind more frequently. We can safely say this player is a fish now. This table that we're playing at is not the best, though. Not by far. I remember this guy being pretty bad. I think I'm going to try to sit over here. Definitely just looking at all these different tables right now as well. Trying to find the best one. Once again, going to limp. I'm going to raise this limp. Reynaldo goes to the raise. Now he is going to do this with a very... This guy apparently does not raise with previous limpers very often. He's got pretty tight range. I think I'm just going to save this as a fold then. I know he raises a lot from the button, but apparently he's not super active once somebody actually limps in behind. You could probably 3-bet or fold with Queen Jack suited there. Either option is fine. I decided to fold that time. We're definitely going to be raising this guy a decent amount soon. People who have big fold to 3-bets like this, or fold to 3-bets really often, is really good to have right to your right. He's 1 seat removed from me. If I was there, that'd be perfect. But I'm still going to be able to raise his stealing range or his stealing positions fairly frequently from the small blind and the big blind. Pretty slow start. To be expected, though. This will happen all the time. I just finished a session earlier of NL100 and NL200. Played a lot of NL200. We ended up the day like half a buy-in up. So, not the end of the world. Up $100, $120, $140 about, something like that. Definitely want to be raising with this hand. This board's really good for his range, but it's not great for his range. I still think we have to bet. We definitely get raised here a decent amount. He's definitely going to have plenty of hands that continue. And he's definitely going to have plenty of hands that raise, but that's completely fine. He doesn't 2-bet very often. You only had a 2-bet of 1 or 4%. So it's not a bad spot to to bet. That board's not necessarily bad or better for his range than it is for mine. Being a double Broadway board, I definitely could have had King Queen for the straight. I could have easily had the nut flush draw. Other flush draws like King Jack, I easily could have Jack 10 and 10-9 as well. So I also hit this range pretty frequently. We have Caster. Definitely going to try this out. I feel like this table with the fish to my left is not necessarily the best table to be at. Because I just want to always have 2 tables up, I'm going to move this away and just expand these ones. Just to make sure that we always have 2 tables up so you can see the HUD. The fish is sits out over here, but we're still in direct position on this guy, which is good. Jack 6 suited is not quite good enough to raise. Ronaldo. Apparently he's won a lot of money. Good for him. His stats don't look super great, though. He has like a little bit of a calling station, went to showdown value. Doesn't really 3-bet. Folds to 3-bets a little bit too often. This is a good hand to raise from the cutoff. Take it down. As will happen a lot of the time. Big Bet Bully is a net. She plays a lot of volume, especially I used to play with her a ton when I was moving up the stakes at NL30, but she's recently moved up to NL50. I haven't played with her much, though, since she pretty much moved up when I left. Check 3 offsuit. Definitely going to be a fold. Definitely just looking at these players, trying to figure out if any of them are pretty bad players or fish or whatever. Here's a good hand. We got queens in the big blind. We'll definitely be 3-betting and getting it in with Tabargan. He's got a really large 3-bet range. I'll definitely be 3-betting folding to Emderich because his 4-bet's just so small. I think about 450 makes sense, or like 475. Even though he raised small, definitely want to raise a little bit bigger to make sure he's paying the full price for if he wants to call a 3-bet. Seems like he does. All right, 2 kings and a jack. Not a terrible board for us. Not by a long shot. He will have some kings here for sure, but he's going to have a lot of hands like pocket pairs and ace-jack, ace-10, who are definitely not going to be able to continue. So we'll see what happens. If I get raised, I'm going to have to fold. He's not 2-bet often enough. He calls once. I'm going to bet one more time and then check the river, I think. I also could just check to him, see what he does. He floats a lot of the time. I think I could just check call. I think it's actually fine. I'm not 100% sure this guy's got. I have the queen of clubs, so we could have the ace-10 of clubs. But I don't necessarily think he's got a lot of flushes in his range. Nope, he has a king. I'm surprised. He called with king 10. I think he probably would have called there with a jack. So I think this bet's fine. He's got a pretty big went to showdown value. You're a dyke. I'm going to play at this table, but I'm going to do what I did before. Just leave it off the side. Wait, what just happened? This is what happened. All right. So not a great start. That's still going to happen, though. Definitely going to have some. I'm surprised he didn't decide to bet the turn. But yeah, he's going to flop 3 kings sometimes. He could have probably gotten more value than he did. I'm surprised he decided to call on the button there with that hand. It's usually want to be folding king 10 suited. Hands are easily dominated like that. Now this 450. This is definitely a good hand to 3-bet. He's going to be his widest on the button, even though we haven't seen him raise yet. He's probably a regular then. I haven't never 3-bet him before, so this is a good opportunity to get ourselves acquainted. Usually, this is a little bit better to do. Oh, he's just going to shove. Awesome. Usually, it's a little bit better to raise or 3-bet light the first time you play with someone because they usually give you credit for it, but not this time. Definitely want to raise here. Don't know what he'll do if he 3-bets. Probably going to fold because he doesn't seem to 3-bet very often. Does decide just to give it up. 4-5 suited, although attractive, is probably going to be a fold on the button here. We can potentially raise his hand once we have more hands on our opponents, and know they will fold the steals very frequently. I have kings on this other table. So I'll come over here. Gonna be raising. Usually just gonna find folds though from our opponents. Oh, looks like this guy decided to call, which is good. If this guy wants to squeeze us or 3-bet us, I'll definitely be re-raising. Trying to get the money in. I'm gonna do a 2.2. I think I'm gonna do like 2.5, 612, like 13.9 or something. This sizing seems fine. He's probably just gonna fold. I'm the call. He easily could have aces, but you know, sometimes you just gotta get it in. No worries at all. Can't be folding kings there. 3-bet. I'm just gonna 3-bet once so far with aces. No worries. I'm going to go back to this table. Again, I'm only playing a multiple or more than 2 tables because I'm trying to get my hands or my reads against everyone again, since I'm not really sure who's efficient, who's not. This table is not looking super great for sure. This table's looking better. Probably gonna sit out on this table. This table doesn't really look like we have that many fish. Definitely raise here. Although he will 3-bet us pretty frequently. We're gonna have to fold if he does. But this is definitely a hand strong enough to steal. Does decide to call. We're going to bet 1/3 pot. I like betting 1/3 pot on these smaller board, on these monotone boards, since usually people are just going to fold if they have no diamond, no pair, and it can get really messy really fast if they decide to raise us and stuff like that. Does decide to call. Now, I think I will barrel one more time. It's a good card for a range, and it's good. If he doesn't have a diamond, he's going to have to fold, almost certainly. The fact that he hasn't folded yet makes me think that he does, in fact, have a diamond. So, this hand is just about over. He's probably thinking about if he wants to 2-bet or not. Oh, no, he does fold. Didn't have a diamond then. It's a little bit scary of a person to to c-bet the turn with a pretty low c-bet value and a pretty high one to showdown. I think I can raise King 7 offsuit if it folds to me, but even if somebody limps, I don't think. Actually, if this guy limps, I think I'll play it too. They're not necessarily 3-betting us often enough. So we're sitting out over here. Gonna close this table, tile these tables. So I continue to look. King 9 offsuit, I think, is just about good enough to raise. It sucks. We'll see how often. This guy doesn't really 3-bet too much on the button, only 4% of the time so far. But he does 3-bet this position a decent amount of time. So we're usually going to be fine here raising this up. Mdurich decides to 3-bet. His range is only 5%. So we definitely do not want to be trying to fight back there. Ace 8 is just barely a fold. Folding 10-2 offsuit. Absolutely. Folding 9-2 suited against this guy. Don't really want to be trying to steal his blinds there too often with junk. 7-9 offsuit, I also think we probably want to fold. It's close. Gonna raise. This guy seems like a fish, which is great. Definitely folding now. So raise it up, take it down over there. Nice. It's raising it over here. This guy seems like a pretty decent player. Got the ducks. Definitely going to be raising. Isolating the limper as often as we can. This person doesn't usually or sometimes folds after we raise. He's going for the 2-bet here. He has never 2-bet before. He's 0 out of 12 opportunities, so this is an easy fold. You just gotta believe him. There's no reason not to. Literally is gonna have a 2-bet of like 7%. Usually what that means is a monster draw or a set or 2-pair or 3 of a kind. Stuff like that. Against a fish, it could have been a bluff, but we don't have a hand that can continue. Especially when they make it that small. Definitely want to be isolating here. We're going to be doing what we just did before, 275. He has a random hand, so he might not be able to continue. Although he is a fish, so I wouldn't blame him if he did. And if not, we're going to be in position against this fish, which is always nice. Take it down. Still constantly table selecting. Still constantly table selecting. We have a decent looking table. Going to be isolating this guy. Don't really care. He doesn't usually limp from this position, so if he does decide to limp or re-raise, we're going to know he's going to be pretty strong. But he does decide just to fold, which is good. That guy's sitting out now. No, this guy's a recreational player. This guy's starting to look like a fish, which is good. Three-10 offsuit's a fold. We're not going to try to steal from the fish like that with a hand like this. Rip at 67 stars, takes it down. He's raising the most from the button. I think this guy has a quirk. He folds a decent amount of time from this position. Queen 10 offsuit's not quite good enough to raise. King, Jack suited. It's definitely good enough to play if it folds to us, which it does. We want to be playing hands against this guy as much as possible. This is certainly a good opportunity to bet. The single Broadway board, it's definitely better for our range than it is for his. We're going to have more queens than him. King Jack offsuit's also good enough to raise from middle position. I think you should be probably raising it every time. You can start folding King Jack offsuit under the gun 6 max. This guy decides to call, most likely has some sort of pocket pair. So we do hit top pair here, so I definitely think we should be betting. Probably going to have some smaller pocket pair. Both fold. Take it down. Good stuff. Oh, Jack 2 offsuit. Not a bad hand. Just kidding. Good enough to check. Definitely do not want to be isolating with this hand. Queen 10 suited in the big blind. It's a pretty good hand. I think we can actually call a raise from this guy. He raises very tight range, but especially if this guy comes along, it'll be much. Well, even then, I'm getting a little bit more than 3-to-1 odds. Or getting about 3-to-1 odds to call. I think we can call this hand. Certainly can check call. He's not super aggressive post flop either. So certainly want to be calling once. Now I think we can actually lead out or check raise. He doesn't usually fold to a donk very often. I'm just going to check to him and let him bet. He definitely has king-queen in his range for sure. I don't think we're going to get much worse to call, so I think I'm just going to check and then make a decision on the river if I want to. Continue. Don't. He probably had like ace. Yeah, ace-queen. Both these guys limp, which I definitely think is a good opportunity for us to raise. Or isolate, even with a hand as weak as queen 10 offsuit. Definitely want to be stealing or raising it up with ace 8 offsuit as well. Definitely taking it down. This guy doesn't limp fold that often. This guy limp folds all the time, which is a really important stat to look for if you are using Pokertracker 4, which I definitely recommend you do. Just limp and call a raise or limp fold. You can use Pokertracker 4 or some sort of HUD software, at least on ignition, even though you can't save the hands for future sessions. You can get HUD stats on your opponents during the session that you're playing. So if you end up playing at the same table for a long period of time, you can certainly continue to use those HUD stats. Yeah, those HUD stats will definitely get to a significant sample size to at least be fairly relevant. Yeah, I know this guy was a regular. This guy, Swag Doctor, is looking like a fish. Definitely might be able to play over here. But for now, I'm happy with our tables. Interesting, interesting. Looks like there's a pot going on over here. I imagine it's bargain raised before the flop. He's probably double barreled at this point. Got Queen Jack offsuit on the button. Definitely a good enough hand to play. Missler decides to raise from under the gun. This is a clear fold. As we can tell, he's never raised before. If this was suited, I would probably play, but Queen Jack offsuit doesn't even play that well multi-way. The suited variety plays a lot better multi-way than the offsuit variety. So we can just fold, even though we're getting good odds to call with the callers behind us. Looks like this hand went to showdown. Let's see what happened. This guy raised. Bargain raised from the button like he should. Isolated. Then he decides to bet the turn. After everyone checks to him, seems pretty standard. Then he decides to, and then just checks it back. Yep. He didn't play that horribly. There was a scary river card too, with the one-liner to the straight. Ace-9, offsuit. Definitely a good enough hand to play. Especially against this guy. Always want to be raising him up when he limps. Let's hit top pair. This is a good opportunity to bet. Usually I don't like to delay c-bet against these types of players. Or at least when there's two broadways on the board. So he was probably going to call 1 to 2 times with the king anyway. But he just didn't have anything unfolded. That'll be happening a lot of the time. So we got a more of like a passive looking fish who likes to fold post flop, and then over here is a fish who doesn't like to fold post flop. Again, these are the type of fish you typically would see more of these types of fish at lower stakes, but not saying that some of them don't creep up to the higher stakes as well. This guy's assigned to raise it up for 5.5 big blinds. Oh, it looks like the fish left over here, which is not great for us. We can definitely looking to grab a new table now. King 4 suited. I think we can just leave this one at home. You could raise or fold that one. This guy Mediocrity joins. We'll see what he's about before I decide to leave. But I'm going to start to look for a new table. Looks like there's a lot of regulars playing right now. No worries there. Ace-8 offsuit is a fold. People seem to be gambling over here. Have to fold King 2 suited. Ace 4 suited. Definitely want to be isolating this guy. This guy also tends to fold after limping very frequently. This guy decides to raise. I think we can just let this one go. We could 3-bet, we could fold, either one's fine. This guy decides to 3-bet himself, which means I'm going to fold, although I would love to have called. This guy just folds so often after limping, I'm just going to do this. The fact that he did it from under the gun is a little concerning, but this is a hand I wouldn't usually open from from the button, but I definitely think it's worth doing. Gonna have to fold to a 3-bet though, but neither of these candidates 3-bet really that often at all. We can definitely. Oh, looks like he does decide to do it. Decides to put it in there. Usually regulars will understand that you might be a little bit lighter than usual when you're isolating because you just want to play a pot in position with a fish. They might 3-bet you a little bit lighter themselves, but you probably just had something pretty decent. Oh, man. Ace 4, you could definitely 3-bet that hand. Ace 4 suited, rather. We could Missile Durgo. Gonna have to call a 3-bet. Actually, I think we just shove. If he decides to 3-bet us, but he doesn't usually 3-bet us on the button. So I guess calling makes the most sense. So hopefully Pete decides to play with us. Nope. Folds, no worries. 4-6 suited can be a fold. Missile decides to raise from a steal position. He seems to be most active from the cutoff somehow, so we're definitely going to be raising him up. So usually I'll do like 475, but 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 525. Or, yeah, that seems about right. 525. If he does decide to 4-bet, that's completely fine. This guy calls. Probably has some sort of pocket pair. This is still a board I think we need to be betting, though. We'll see if he wants to raise us. He does 2-bet fairly frequently. 3-bet pots, he 2-bets. He hasn't raised yet. The 7's not a good card for us. I don't think we can be betting this turn again. It's definitely way better for his range than it is for mine. Just check it back here. Now the flush gets there, and the board pairs, which again isn't good for us. So this guy's probably going to bluff us off or just have a better hand. So this is an easy fold. Nothing we can really do there. He most likely just had a pocket pair. Maybe he hit a set. But he could have... I don't know what hand he had there, because it looks like all the draws pretty much got there. And all the all the pocket pairs. He probably just had a set. He probably just had a full house by that river. I wonder how much he bet on the river. Yeah, he bet a decent chunk of change. Most likely had it. We can fold 8-10 offsuit. I usually like to play that hand from the button, but from the cutoff, especially with you're gonna have 3-betters like for Kazdo. It's not the best situation to be in. I thought this guy quit. I did not know he was still playing. I thought maybe he had to move back down. I think he was a really good regular. I think he had good stats. Pocket 3s. Mediocrity seeming like a fish, even with a little bit on the aggro side. Crosses to my left both times. It's not something I'm thrilled about. Definitely could be looking for different tables, but we definitely want to be playing with the fish as well. Folds, I can definitely raise here. We can check how often he raises a small blind open, about 7%. So I think we can call. I don't know. He doesn't do this super often, that's for sure. Seems to be a little bit more active. I think we can peel. It's a really bad card or board for us, though. He's definitely going to bet here, and I have to fold. It's a shame. There's no way we can call. I mean, calling out position does not seem like what we want to be doing. Our range is pretty beat by that point. This guy seems to be turning up the aggression. Good for him. He was stuck for a long time. All my player pools. Lots of the regulars seem to be getting better. Haven't had anything work out for us yet. Queen 9 suited. We'll definitely try to steal. Hit top pair. A board like this, I think we can just go ahead and bet. Delay c-betting is not really where we want to be. Delay c-betting and hitting a club or something that connects with the 5 and the 9 could go poorly. Ace jack offsuit, definitely going to raise that as well. Seven, 8 offsuit. You can leave this one at home. Looks like the fish left, so now we're certainly just gonna table select as much as we can right now. This seems fine. It's a pretty bad situation, the fact that we're going to be to the left of the regular again, but it's better than not knowing where we stand. Or having no... And I don't really know if there's a fish here, because I don't know these players, but we definitely could. This guy usually does not call a raise after limping, so I think we can isolate here. King 5 suited is also a fine hand to do this with. Yep, there he folds, which is great. Now we just need Endless Mike to fold. Does call. Flop a pair on an ace-high board, definitely good enough to bet. Gonna be betting with my 60% bet sizing. A king or a 5 is almost certainly good. Does decide to call, so I think we could check this turn. This does not seem like the type of turn to bet again. I could bet twice, but I'm kind of overplaying my hand at that point. Could have like a 6 or something that we want to get to fold. The problem is this invites him to bluff the river if he has a missed spade draw, or has some sort of smaller pocket pair. So maybe betting the turn is just what I had to do there. I'm not sure. Probably just had to do that. Does end up getting there. Probably had a ace, if I had to guess. There's no way we can hero call there. Oh, whoops. We don't want to play here anymore. This is definitely a hand I'm going to try to steal with. Although I'm sure this guy's going to play back at me a decent amount. Does call. We definitely can continue. This guy does not fold on the turn, but he does usually fold on the flop. So I have to give up again, which really sucks. But just based on this guy's HUD stats, 0 out of 5, there's just simply no way around it. Maybe I just have to bet again, even though it's just such a terrible proposition. Alternatively, I could just folded my hand pre-flop. But if I do make a pair or something, we can get a lot of value out of him. He also will usually fold the flop, so... Or fold the flop about half the time, which is good. Just gonna fold with Queen 9. How did this happen? Did I raise this hand? I get distracted sometimes, speaking out loud. We can raise this hand. This also could be a fold. Endless Mike is not looking like a fish. But this fish does call on the button. So really not folding very often at all. But we do hit an 8, which is good. So I definitely think we want to be betting here to get value from our pair. Maybe we can bet 1. Actually, I think I can just check call now. He's going to have plenty of... Oh, he does have a jack this time. But he was going to have plenty of draws in his range and stuff. I don't think we can just check fold. He's floated one opportunity before. Doesn't usually fold the flop. He could have had a very wide range of things. This session, I have not had that many winning hands. It's not gone great. Look at that. He raises. Definitely going to be 3-betting here. This guy seems like he folds enough. So this could be 475. Definitely think this guy will be folding enough. He's going to open pretty wide from the button. At least he should be. This is kind of like a really strange stat, but I think it's probably just an anomaly through sample size. That he's only raised from the button 2 to 15 times. With ace-9 suited, this hand's barely good enough to raise, especially good enough to isolate. Looks like both these guys are fish, which is perfect. This is exactly where we want to be seated then. Two bargain raises, that's just going to be sad. King 6 offsuit. Probably have to fold this hand. Definitely want to bet out here. Oh, he's going to bet himself. He almost never does this, but we have to fold. That sucks. We just don't have a hand. Is not quite good enough. I think we can play here, potentially. Just want to get some decent idea of what's going on with these players. See if they're fish or not, but I'll just keep these two tables up for now. This is not what you want to see. 1 out of 6 turn C bet, 9 out of 9 flop, or turn bet, or C bet flop. Because of my stats are this lopsided right now, like this definitely shouldn't be it. I was making decisions not to C bet turn based on the types of players I was playing against, but we definitely might need to start barreling the turn more against these types of players. They're most likely using a HUD themselves and would try to be floating me more. This isn't a crazy sample size, but definitely could go worse. I have aces over here. I guess I can show this hand. See what happens. The guy raises. I don't really have any stats on this guy. Definitely want to be 3-betting him, though. Definitely going to 3-bet. I'm going to make like 750. I'm just going to do this, I think. It should be about 4x the size. It's a little bit of a bigger bet, so I'll just go a little bit bigger. Alright, well, it's a pretty good board for us. Definitely just want to keep betting, and I don't think I'm really going to be folding. Don't really think I'm going to be folding half pot in these 3-bet pots. I think I can actually just call. Nope, didn't quite get there. Do make a little bit of money back there. Now Messelder seems to be raising pretty frequently. I think I'm probably going to end up sitting out here. Maybe I'll play for a little bit longer. At this table. Nah. I'm just going to set out next big blind here. And I'm going to start showing this other table in a second. I'm going to be folding here. Going to be isolating here. Fold to blind steal. This guy decides to 3-bet us. Pretty easy fold. With a hand like this, we could fold or raise. I will try to raise. Take it down. Pocket 9s. Take it down. Nice. 2 jack. It's going to be a fold. 9-10 suited. With the fish on the button. I mean, the fish in the big blind, I will raise this hand. It's flop top pair. Definitely good enough to bet. He's going to have plenty of draws on this board. That completes some of them, but not that many. I'm going to bet one more time. Try to get value from a draw, and then check back the river. Oh, even the fish over here is sitting out. Definitely a good time to stop playing at this table. Limped on over here. Just going to give up. No real reason to play that one. 7-8 offsuit. I'll raise if it folds to me. Does not. This player doesn't seem that bad. The fish is getting rather short stacked. Hopefully he can double up or something here. Pocket 6s. Definitely going to be 3-betting him if he raises. He decides to fold. This guy has really good fold to steal stats. Folding the steal at the right frequency. Fold. This guy seems like he just likes to bet larger, but his stats look pretty bad in general. Definitely a fish. 75-25. Queen 7 suited. I don't think I'm going to play this one. The 3 bets are a little bit too high for me to try to play this hand. It's close, but it's not quite there. 7-8 suited. With that guy on the blinds, I will make this raise. The suited connector. You don't always have to play suited connectors. I've played a lot of them so far, but you definitely can fold them as well. You should be folding them some portion of the time. Take it down. Pretty good. Folding. Pocket 3s is good to raise. I potentially will call a 3-bet if I always have to check his stats a little bit more, but it's fine. Ace-6 offsuit's a fold from the cutoff. I mean, from the hijack, rather. Sorry. Nah, you do play it from the cutoff. 3 queens versus a total bluff. Mad Dog raises. Hey, look at that. If I called, I would have flopped the joint. This guy's starting to look a little strange himself. All right. No. Definitely raising it up here. He usually folds to a 3-bet from this position. So he probably will fold again. This guy has played back at me sometimes, though. I think he probably would have raised queens, so I don't think he's going to have that very often. Doesn't 2-bet super often, though. You're going to have to proceed with some caution. I have the king of spades. Makes it harder for him to have. It's not going to really have that many ace-4s. Could check and give him the chance to float and then ship it. Don't really know. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Doesn't really fold himself. He doesn't really... I think I'm just going to go with it and just bet again. He doesn't usually fold himself on the turn. Again, I don't think there's that many 4s out there. So I think I'm just going to rip it on the river. He definitely could have a set. Don't get me wrong. But still. I think we have the best hand at this point. Yep, we take it from ace-queen. Looks pretty good, pretty standard. Good thing I didn't check. We probably would have not gone at all. Oh, this guy's raising. I'm gonna have to fold. So yeah, that's pretty standard. Got kings, just bet. Checking the Checking was an option on the turn. He does float a lot, but we definitely wanted to just probably keep the betting leader self there. There we go. Our kings had some redemption. Ended up getting that buy-in back. 10-8 suited. It's a hand we can play. That guy left, which sucked. We definitely wanted to play with him more. Fold. I'm going to actually take a quick break to go to the bathroom, but I'll be right back, guys. Sorry about this. I think I'm going to just try playing at this table now. Once again, going to see what it's about. But I'm going to have to come back in a little bit to it since I am going to be taking my break. Got somebody else joining. Fish Finder 75. Comes in with a full stack. Probably not the best player. I mean, probably not a terrible player. He's probably a regular with a name like that. 2 pair with the joint on the river. You hate to see it. This guy does not fold. This guy actually looks like a fish himself. No, it's our turn to have ace queen. Definitely gonna raise it up. Jack queen offsuit. I think we can raise. Mad Dog calls on the button, most likely with a pocket pair. This is not a good board to c-bet since more often than not they're just going to call with their pocket pairs. Check it back. This is a great card to bet, though. It's a card I'm probably going to have to bet. Which I will. Let me take it down. It was almost certainly the worst hand. Oh, man. This table over here doesn't seem like we have any... Oh, this... Okay. Doesn't really seem like there's any reason to continue to play at it, so I'll just exit out here, tile. Constantly table selecting. It's a very important thing if your site allows you to do it, to constantly table select. Folding here. Our big blind got skipped, so that's why we have not been able to play again. Or we didn't have to we're not able to sit out there. I plan for this play and explain to be about 2 hours. Maybe a little bit longer, depending how I'm feeling. Would like this session to be a winning session, and I currently I'm certainly down still. Alright, and I'm going to take my leave now. I shall be back shortly. Alright, I am back. Looks like the other table broke while I was away, which sucks, which means I have to find a new table. This is a great table to play at. This person stacked me earlier today. Aces over ace king. Fish Finder, from the two hands I've seen, is starting to look more like a fish than a regular. Very ironic name then. Limpers, we'll love to see it. For Costo, might raise or isolate. It's definitely just going to check or fold if anyone decides to raise. Check. Flop nothing. Not really a good hand for us to try to steal. Hope this guy isn't stealing, because if he is, that's probably not going to go great for him. Oh, looks like it went well. This guy usually folds on the flop, but doesn't usually fold on the turn. Not a huge one to showdown value. Probably should have just raised that hand myself. Probably shouldn't have clicked that button. No big deal though. Looks like this guy's a fish. Jack 8 offsuit. It's gonna, or should be a fold. Fold, fold. I think I will. Nah, this hand's just a little bit too bad. Especially a deep stack like that, being out of position with a hand as bad as 2-8 suited, that can be pretty easily. This guy ended up just coming in randomly, so I think this is a good hand actually to raise. Gonna have to fold to a 3-bet sadly, but that's okay. Well, I guess I just have to fold. Into a 2.5x. Let's check some stuff out. He's never 3-bet under the gun before. I think this is fine fold. This guy seems a little bit more aggressive now than he has been before, but we just have to fold that hand. It's just going to lead to so many problems later on. It's close to a call, I guess. I think I'd call with ace-10. This guy's 3-betting has definitely gotten bigger, or has been 3-betting more often. I think we can raise with this hand. This guy tilted this guy or something. Definitely think this is a good spot to bet. This is a fold. He called once. It's not a good card for us. We have a pair. I think we just check. It's not really that many bluffs he could have. If he checks it back, I think I'll check one more time. Just trying to see a showdown. Don't really think there's that many worse hands are going to call us. Yep. All we lose is a small bet there. Not a big deal. I was thinking about changing seats, but now it does not seem like what we want to do. This guy limps. I got nothing. You could play back at him sometimes here, but we'll just fold. That guy ends up calling. He's going to have a lot of hands. Definitely think this bet could definitely work out for us. Even though usually I wouldn't bet here. Definitely think it could work out for us pretty frequently. He's got a huge 2-bet. No big deal. The 2-bet like that, it actually might become less attractive option to do that. I'll end up raising with the kings. Got a call. This guy's never 3-bet before, but obviously I would like him to. This is a good opportunity for a delayed c-bet. Check it back. Call. Definitely think I'm going to call this a river now. We'll think about it. How often is he even betting the river? He's not betting the river very often at all. But with kings, I think this is fine. We don't have to be right about 1/3 of the time. He definitely could have plenty of aces here. Oh, we end up getting it. Not bad. I guess I can just check. I'm just going to raise. I'm just going to isolate with this hand. Sorry about that. This guy wanted me to move. Looks like the regulars have mostly left, which is great. Yep, we flop the nut flush draw. Definitely worthy of betting. Take it down. Nice. Ace king now. We're really running the table over here. It's a good board for us. Definitely want to be betting. We can bet again on all face cards. Or there's really only 3 cards we bet twice here on, but we certainly do this. He's going to lead out into us. Again, this is just a lot better for his range than it is for mine. So even though I have the backdoor flush draw, I can't really continue. This really sucks. Definitely think he's not being super honest, but he doesn't donk too often. Definitely just going to have to fold. The guy's done well for himself. Ends up folding that time. Ace king again on this table. Once again, we've looked really aggressive so far. We've been raising and 3-betting very, very frequently on this table, but we pretty much have always had it. Meaning this is a pretty good opportunity for us to continue to put the pressure on. Raise here. Ends up calling. Again, this is another good board for us to bet, and then bet again on all face cards. Definitely can't just check this board. Take it down. King 10 offsuit's a fold. 7-2 suited is a offsuit is a fold rather. I think I want to play this table. Usually when you have somebody to your left who is just or as steep stacked as you, because we're approaching 300 big blinds over here, usually it means you want to leave, especially if he's aggressive, but I think we're going to raise. Continue the pressure. This guy seems like he folds very frequently. Doesn't this time, though. Gonna bet. This board's really good for us. We can bet again on all face cards and all hearts. Take it down. Nice. The power of c-betting. If it folds to us, we'll raise. If he raises, we'll fold. It's definitely going to fold now. Ace king over here. Definitely want to re-raise. We'll see what he decides to do. Just calls. Alright. This guy 2-bets a lot, doesn't he? Not super often. This guy usually folds to a c-bet in these pots, so I guess I'm going to do it. Definitely going to have to do some stuff on the turn if he decides to keep playing us. This guy calls. Doesn't usually fold on the turn. So I guess we're going to check back here. Deuces and eights. I think we're going to call this river. Yeah. I mean, he just made it so small. That was really stupid of him. Yeah, he really should have done it a little bit differently there. I would have folded to a bigger sizing. He bets a lot of rivers too, doesn't he? Yeah. That's worth making a note of, that bet sizing. Bet. Ooh, we have the open-ended straight draw and the backdoor flush draw. Hi. I'm recording. Yeah. Sorry. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Sorry, my brother and his friend wanted to come downstairs. I was not having any of that. Yeah. Gonna fold. Doing pretty well. Now all of a sudden, I think we actually might be up for the day, which is pretty cool after a couple of turbulent situations. We have a regular to our left here now, Master's Edge. It's a good regular. He started his poker journey pretty recently, I think, this year. But he's able to make it all the way to NL50, NL100, which I am going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he used good bankroll management. Not somebody you want to see pull up to our left, but it's definitely still decent. This guy seems like a huge net. This guy has not raised first in from the small blind very often. We can just fold. What wants with the nuts? Called a or bet 1/7th pot on the river with nothing but queen high, a 3-bet pot. Bets $10. This guy calls? What on earth just happened? I must say lol. Thin value. I'm not even going to say what thin value. I just don't even want anybody to know that like, I understand how the game works. The worse my image is and the worse my image is, or the worse people think I am, the better. And so talking about poker or being like, oh, you suck at poker or doing anything like that is certainly not what you want to be doing. Well, I flop quads. I think it's like the third or fourth time in my life I've ever done that. So I guess flopping literal quads is a good time to slow play. Now this guy... Yeah, I think I'm just going to call. And probably check raise now. Quad 8s, eh? Just gonna bet like 216 maybe. Let's see if he wants to call me with worse. Oh, I should have just bet way, way bigger. Oh, I trolled this so bad. I trolled this so bad. I realized I should have shoved. I can't believe that happened. I really fucked that up. I wasn't even thinking about that. Oh, I played that so badly. I could have gotten so much more. Maybe not. He probably would have just folded if I went crazy. But definitely could have gotten more. This guy seems to fold after I raise, so I'm just going to raise it up. No need to dwell on these past things. I'll end up betting. Betting over here. Alright. It's not a great card for us, but definitely going to put some extra pressure on him, I think. Out of position. I think this is a good... Okay, that's a double barrel. Yep, take it out. When you're out of position and it seems kind of hopeless to just check and give up, usually it's not a bad idea just to fire the second barrel and let them deal with it. Oh, man. I did troll that really bad, actually. I should have definitely gotten, like, $50. The problem is he probably just would have not called. It's like, what's the point of even calling, like, $30 to chop, you know? So, that sucked. I trolled, but that's okay. We definitely at least got some value. I could have bet myself on the turn there as well, trying to build the pot. I was going for the check raise on the turn. Seems like he bets turns more often than he bets the flop, so it seemed like it probably would have worked out, but didn't work out this time. Oh, man. So far, so good, though. Not a bad day. Ooh, this guy decides to ship the flop after this guy. This guy must have a set, or maybe... Oh, nope, just an overpair. Not what they want to see. Nice little suck out by him, though. This guy has ran way better than his seal unadjusted. How did this happen? I mean, this guy goes 150. This guy goes 850 immediately. This guy just calls. This guy just ships it, essentially. Just gonna fold Jack 7 offsuit. Definitely might want to start looking for a new table. Queen 10 offsuit is definitely good enough to raise on the button. I'll definitely maybe try to join this table. If we can get it through, this is good. We'll see what happens. Actually, I should just fold this hand, I think. This guy doesn't like to give up on the button. Oh, this guy decides to raise for once. Fold. This is a good place to play. Caught the fish joining. I am going to sit out here. Actually, I'm going to play one more rotation, I think. And then I'm going to sit out. So we have ace-king here in the small blind versus a raise from a fish. Doesn't usually raise very often, but this hand's a little bit too good to not re-raise with. We're going to have to fold to a 4-bet. Decides just to call. Alright. Not the best board for us, but not the worst. We have the gut shot to the nuts. We have no backdoor draw. And we have... we beat ace-queen. I think I'm going to bet twice here. Don't think he's got too many 10s in his range. Now that comes on the river. I think I'm just going to have to fold. Really sucks. He's only bet the river 1 out of 5 times, but it certainly, I think, could be a fold for us. If he just checks and gives up, that's also pretty cool. Oh, of course he just had the nuts and decided to not do anything with it. That sucks. That's going to happen sometimes. Yeah. Sucks that we had the same hand and he ended up winning. That's always disappointing, but that is life. Don't think we played it poorly. Yeah, just exit out here. You just missed me taking it down with 4s over here. Seemed trappy. Well, I'm glad. Guy had the best flush draw and decided to check the river. Very interesting play. What can you do? If that guy folds, I'll raise. If he limps, I'll raise. This guy's almost always going to get out of the way. It's a very loose player. This guy, he likes to limp fold. So I think this is fine. Of course, if he limp re-raises, I'll just fold. This guy likes to limp fold. He only limps and calls a raise 33% of the time. And if not, if he does decide to call, at least I have a decent hand. Exactly. His hand looks good enough to bet. Oh, of course, the absolute brick of it. Brick on the turn. Definitely don't think I should be betting this one. Don't really have much of anything to go off of. I think I bet here. Do I bet this river? It's going to have a lot of singular pairs, like a jack. Or even a 9 now, that's not going to fold. I have the king of hearts. It's harder for me to have. He's just going to... What's it called? Yeah, he's just not going to fold a jack there. If he raises, I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, man. He's sitting out now. No problem. Big Bet Bully wants to see a flop. Pretty good flop for me. Definitely have a pocket pair. That's alright. Ace-9 offsuit over here. This guy raises. This is going to be a fold then. We have a Jesus seat, which means there's a fish to our right on both of our tables here, so I don't see any reason to do anything differently. King-Jack offsuit over here. Definitely want to raise it up. Both these players fold pretty frequently. Nice. Jack-6 is a fold. It's close to a raise, actually. You'd be surprised, especially with people kind of like this who don't 3-bet very often and don't and fold to steals pretty frequently. So far so good though. Life has been great. Ace-3 offsuit. Yeah, I just don't think there was any getting this guy to fold. Clown raises from the button. This is where he raises the most. This guy's already went ahead and 3-bet, so fold. I was going to 3-bet him, I think. If it folds to me, I'll raise, and if it doesn't, I'll fold. We could pretty much just be stealing this guy's blinds with any 2 cards. Queen-3 offsuit. First time this guy's raised, I'm gonna 3-bet him. He's raising from the button. It's gonna be where his range is the widest. Ugh, it's the second time today this has not worked. Maybe I should reserve this more for regulars, but it doesn't seem the worst. Again, the first encounter theory, people usually will give you more credit the first time you do something. So I definitely don't think that was that bad of a play. I'm gonna sit and play a little bit here, but I'm just gonna keep that off the side. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted to keep off to the side. This is the one. There we go. It's folding over here. King Jack suited on this table. I think we just call. I don't think 3-betting makes too much sense. He has a pretty wide range from this position, so this is certainly a hand we can just call with. Gonna probably double. Definitely just gonna check back here. No reason to try to try to steal by floating. He definitely could have a ace here. I'll call. He does have an ace. Again, not too much that could be done there. If he just doesn't want to get much value from his hand, he doesn't have to. Like, he needs to bet that at some point. I guess he ended up getting more value than he could by just checking and letting me hit that jack or king by the river. But you know, it's not really the best thing you want to do when you flop 3 aces. Usually you just want to bet. It's not bad to check once there, check on the flop there, but I definitely would try to start getting more value from the turn. Because I was calling if you bet the flop and on the turn. So I was going to call 2 streets, but he only got 1 street of value. A shame. Still think we're probably slightly down for the day. Down at like $20 over here. Haven't been able to hit any good. Haven't really been able to do much, make any great hands so far. This guy limps. This guy usually limps and calls a raise. Usually doesn't fold to a c-bet. I guess I'll just check. You could isolate with ace-deuce offsuit for sure. Especially how wide he is in the button. This guy decides to bet. I'll believe him. This guy decides to raise from the button. I don't think. He makes it pretty big. I don't necessarily think we need to be 3-betting. Oh, I was actually on my off-screen table, so nobody even saw that. Crazy. Check here. Queen high. It's going to bet out. Going to fold to a raise. What can you do? Ace-4 suited. Nice. I think we can literally just keep going with hands like this. This guy seems like he might play back at me, though. Looks like he does. Still a better board for our range than it is for his. We have the backdoor flush draw, and we have some back... Now we don't even have any backdoor straight things, but... Actually, I guess we do. It's a good card for us to bet again. If he decides to bet into us, this will end the hand. But this is definitely a good card for us to bet again. The deuce, I really can't win if I check, but this guy, I have a jack. I mean, it doesn't seem very, it seems hard to win this. I feel like barreling here is probably not going to have the desired result. It's already a brick of a river too, so I think we can just give up. Pocket 6s. Probably would have folded. If I bet the river. I think I want to call this. Yeah, I definitely do. Raising makes some sense, but you don't have to do it. Yeah, that's a possibility where I could have probably gotten a little bit more value. Or I could have won the hand by betting the river, but it was such a brick. I'm not even sure if he would have folded there. After calling twice there, it's definitely possible. Now we put ourselves in this awkward position. Yep, I think we're just going to check back. It's not a bad card. We have the nut flush draw. If he checks me again, I'm going to start trying to build the pot for sure. I end up betting here. Now, I don't know if I want to bet again. I think I can bet small for value. Trying to get 2 streets. Oh, it looks like I'm dead. He's probably got an ace beat. Yeah, fuck. That sucks. Hit 2 pair on the river. It's not necessarily a bet on this river, but I thought that would have been a good value bet. Didn't quite work out. Could have definitely gotten more value. If I bet on this flop, I suppose. Wasn't the worst opportunity to bet this flop. Yeah, I'm definitely down like $20 today, I think. Because I'm down like 40 over here now. That really sucks. I definitely think that was, like, wasn't terrible, though. I have to give up. Alright. Definitely don't think that was, like, not like the worst thing ever to happen. Fold over here. Once again, like a lot of our hands, it really feels like a lot of our hands have not worked out today. Probably just feels like that, though. Definitely could have potentially picked up some more money if I played a little bit better. This guy's not bluffing. He's just extracting value from a fish. See if this guy can get away from it. Looks like the fish over here left. So I'm definitely going to sit out here. Next big blind. Definitely can play over here. Yep. Once again, she's never bluffing. She's just extracting value from a fish. Exactly like you should have done. Let's see how she played it. She's going to raise. And she probably bets all 3 streets. Yep. Oh, then she 3 bets. Calls. Bets again. She bets small. Calls. Gets it in on the river. Yep. There's no way that fold ace 10 that was ever going to work out for the clown. This guy goes for a 3-bet. It's his first 3-bet ever. He is tilted, most likely, but it's definitely not worth calling. Definitely a little unfortunate that all that happened. I definitely wanted to post a winning session, but I'm probably going to end up posting a losing session. Still, though, I don't think I played terribly this game. I mean, this session. I think I might have made 1 or 2 mistakes, but for the most part, I think I played pretty well. That's not the table I wanted. That was the hand history. Still have 20 minutes left to run it up, so we'll see what happens. Fold over here. King, queen. Definitely going to raise. King 4 suited is a fold. Oh, man. Calls. Don't hit what we need to hit. He seems pretty tilted, too. Because of that, I think I'm just going to check back with no equity at all, other than my overcards. He's going to bet out the turn. He doesn't bet the turn very frequently. Can't really call. Pocket queens. Now this is a hand that can potentially stack this guy. See what he wants to do. Just calls. We're going to bet big and often. Looks like he just folds. No problem. Looks like he is just folding. Makes me regret not betting king queen there. I think what happened is I got for thin value twice. It didn't work out. It didn't work out with my pocket queens. It didn't work out with my ace 10. Maybe I should not have just went for that thin value. Who knows? Who's to say? Thin value is definitely very important, and you know you're doing thin value right when sometimes they call you with worse, but they shouldn't be. It shouldn't be usually calling you with worse, but they will call you. I mean, calling you with better. That's what I meant. Usually, you know you're doing thin value right is when they occasionally call you with better. This guy, I think this is a great opportunity to 3-bet, but I feel like this guy might just ship it. Like, I really feel like this guy is pretty volatile right now, so I think I'm just gonna call. I hate this board. Yeah, maybe I just had to 3-bet. Maybe he's not as volatile as I think he is. That was definitely a good opportunity to 3-bet potentially. Oh, I probably should have. I guess we can fold 7-4 suited, or offsuit, I mean. We can't literally steal every time. Now this guy is really going for it. These guys seems kind of pissed off. Take it down over there on this table with queen 9 offsuit, king 6 offsuit. I think we'll be going in for a raise as well. Assuming this guy gets out of the way. Could definitely fold this hand. This guy seems like he folds a decent amount of time. And he doesn't seem like he 3-bets very often. Althea. Definitely want to play here. Yep. And we're going to bet like $1.19. It's a third of the pot. Take it down. Fold. It's good old 7 deuce off. I'm going to. This seems like this guy's a fish, which is good. That's what we want to see. We're going to stop playing on this table. Or probably stop playing on this table. I think we might just actually leave it be for a little bit. This guy doesn't seem super volatile or anything. I should just 3-bet with the ace-5 there. What a shame. Now this guy's going to 3-bet me on the button. We cannot call. He just doesn't do this very often, but you're just going to have to let it happen. When you have somebody like this, he's just most likely going to have he's just going to have ace-jack beat there. I don't think he's really doing this as a bluff very often. Pocket 7s. Big bet. Bully calls almost certainly with a pocket pair. Definitely a good board for us to bet, though. He could have like ace king, king queen. But his most likely hand is just a pocket pair. So I'm gonna take it to... I'm gonna double barrel certainly, and I might even fire the triple barrel. Alright, at this point, I don't think firing the triple barrel is gonna work out. I think he actually just has a king. She folds to a river c-bet pretty frequently, though. I guess if she folds to a river c-bet 75% of the time, we can just go ahead and bet here. But she just has a king. Dang it. Yeah, I was right on my initial analysis. Based on our stats, though, I don't think firing that c-bet there is that big of a deal. I think it's probably pretty close to break even or winning. She decided just to smooth call because I think she noticed I was folding to her 3-bets pretty often. But yeah, I could have just folded or check folded that river. That would have been fine. I didn't even have a hand that was that bad myself. Because she just had a pocket pair, I might have been able to win. That did not make much sense. Sometimes you have to go for the 3-barrel bluff, but not all the time. Just betting 3 times though does not seem like what... It seems fine based on our stats, but based on the board run out and based on her other tendencies, she probably just folds... She's definitely going to fold a pocket pair on the turn, so I don't know why I was triple barreling. The only reason why is because her stats told me it was not a bad idea to. But maybe with the board run out, I shouldn't be so focused on those stats. This ends up being pretty bad for me in the long run. This guy calls. This other table. Definitely want to call. Yep. Checks with his top pair. Very bad. Definitely want to fold this hand. This guy does not seem like he folds super often to steals. Oh man, now I feel like I played well today. That is not very... It does not make me happy. Definitely feel like I had a lot of opportunities to play a lot better, and I just didn't. Should just not have went for that on the river, but that's okay. It's important to bluff sometimes, but against players like this, there's not really any reason to balance. With the fish in the blinds, I think this is fine. King after. Immediately getting 3-bet. This is easy fold. Gun. I'll raise this if it folds to me. Clown raises. It's definitely still being fishy. I'll certainly raise if it folds to me. A hand like this. He's playing a decent amount of hands from the early position, as we can see. He seems to usually like to limp in other than raise with them. Flop a pair. How often does he 2-bet? He 2-bets pretty frequently, and because of that, I don't think we want to bet yet. Definitely think this is the option I'd rather take. Doesn't like to 2-bet the river. I think betting here makes sense then. I think he might call with like ace high or like king high or something. Oh, he's had a better 9. Dang. None of my thin value bets have worked at all. This is so tragic. He calls almost every single river bet. It's actually crazy. But I must be an anomaly, those stats. That's just not how any player plays, even the fish. Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to call it after 2 hours. I'm just going to have to post a losing session. It's no big deal. I definitely think that bet's fine. There hasn't been... My hand's pretty underrepresented, and he could definitely have worse. Especially calling this often. He definitely could show up with worse there. He doesn't bet the turn super frequently, but I definitely think he could be doing that just because I checked. This is an attempt to steal. He doesn't seem like he's the most passive person in the world. E6 offsuit's a fold. I think I'm going to sit out on this table, as this other table I'm playing at has just more fish. What a shame. I'm definitely down like $55, $60. 77? What? I guess after that one bluff, yeah. She's a pretty good candidate to bluff, though. This didn't seem like there's any scary rivers or anything like that. Apollo goes to this raise. We just want to fold out of position. Definitely going to be raising here. Flop an ace. Nice. Now we have 2 pair. Now we're looking to stack off. Flop a set versus a fish over here. This is huge. I think I can call once. I'll slow play. Maybe not. I think I'll slow play once and then raise the turn. Definitely want to bet big over here. Bets again. Yeah, I'm definitely going to raise this turn. It's about $10-ish. And he folds. What can you do? Not much you can do about that. It was the first set we flopped, but he didn't have anything, so he had to fold. This guy once again calls on the button. He could have a pocket pair. I definitely think betting this is good, though. We have the backdoor nut flush draw, we have a backdoor straight draw, and we have 2 overs, which are almost certainly good. Yep, so on the 10, being a face card and adding to the flush, I definitely think we want to be betting twice. He could just ship it with his flush, but certainly not the worst. And he calls all this just to get to this river. Don't think I want to be bluffing this river. This guy doesn't really seem to... He's had one opportunity. It's not a really scary card. It's tough for us to have... it's tough for him to have worse at this point. Definitely wanted to see him fold on that turn. I think I'm actually down close to $100 for the session, which is really a shame. Losing 2 buy-ins isn't anything super out of the ordinary, but it's definitely not something you'd like to see. For here, we want to be raising it up. First the fish. This nitty guy calls me. It's pretty concerning. Definitely think we want to bet and fold afterwards. Yep. Take it down. Nice. Once again, just constantly isolating the limpers. I found another table, which is really solid. This one looks more like a check back. Does not look as attractive. They both check again, and then I can bet, I think. I'll have an 8. Yep, take it down. Nice. Got pocket kings on this table over here. I'll definitely show that. Guess I'm going to play a little bit longer. Both called. I have the king of... We can also just pot and then ship the turn. Oh my god, he just ships it. Oh, I guess I just have to call. What a shame. This could go really poorly. I'm just gonna ship the rest. Alright, I'm dead. Oh, I'm not dead. Oh, I'm good? Ooh, I'm good. Huge pot coming my way. And just like that, the session can completely change. Like, completely change. That was crazy. Definitely want to be... I think delay c-betting is the best option here. Especially somebody like this who folds so often. You definitely think delay c-betting makes a lot of sense. I'm going to have to decide if I want to call this river. He makes it so small on the river. I think I might just raise. Yeah, nice. Take that down. So over here, I got another hand. Got ace 10 in the small blind. Definitely going to be raising it up. Going to be folding queen 10 offsuit. Taking it down. Do. Let me check something. Results 50. Big bet bully raises. This is definitely a call. She has a really tight range, so we definitely have to be careful. Now I'm going to bet. Hopefully just take it down. She probably has a couple overcards. Oh, she raises me. Great job. Second time she's ever 2-bet in 1,000 hands. A very cool option by her. Yep. I am almost break even for the day. Definitely don't think betting twice here makes all that much sense. We just check it back. We're going to end up losing. That's okay. Oh, we won. Nice. Both these guys, this other table folds so frequently that we can raise. And that was a really good thing that Kings held there. We got another hand brewing over here. I guess I'll remove this table. Put this one in. King 10 suited. Big bet bully again calls me on the button. This is a great board to bet. Pretty brick of a turn, but still not a bad. Out of position, I definitely think we want to be betting twice here. If she has a pocket pair, she's going to have to fold. And I can still always just river the flush if she has an ace and probably extract lots of value. But if she calls and I don't hit my flush, I think this is over. Wow, she really goes for the raise. I'm really surprised she keeps raising. This is not something she usually does. I guess she's changed her strategy recently, which is fine. We just fold here. We don't have enough odds or position to properly take advantage of implied odds if we hit her flush. I was very surprised she's deciding to take these very aggressive routes. Perhaps they've just been working too well for her. Twice now she's raised the turn. Most likely just had it though. Especially the second time around. People usually just have the nuts. Tis a shame. Fold here. This guy does like to play from the button, so I'll go ahead and raise. Man, this guy's going to 4-bet me now? Maybe I just have to stop playing with this person. It's kind of seems like she's targeting me, but most likely not. Most likely just had the nuts. Again, usually when people do stuff like this to you, you're like, oh my god, like they're targeting me. It's almost always short-term variance. It's nothing to really think much about. Like, I've played a lot with this person, and they're not the kind of person just to like target someone out of nowhere. Now this is certainly a hand we can raise. This guy just open shoves after posting. I don't know what to do. I guess I have to fold, which sucks. We'll see what he decides to keep doing. Yeah. But we're going to sit over here. We have another table. It's going well. Just going to play there. Getting open 3-bet. This guy's now just 4-betting. It's the easiest fold of our lives. This guy 3-bet folded? What? This guy looks pretty fishy. So again, ace-king offsuit, same thing. If he wants to 4-bet, we can just ship it. This is fine. Might have aces. Ace-king. No worries. He might hit a flush. No big deal. Fold. Pocket kings here again. Definitely want to be raising it up. Really bad board for us. But we're still going to probably bet. It's the worst card in the deck. That means we're definitely dead. Oh my god, I won. Lol. I can't believe I won that. This guy's really bad. Crazy stuff, man. 6-7 suited. We can just let that one go. I'll extend this session by an extra half hour. I feel pretty good. These tables look really solid to play at as well. These look like really bad players. They chop it up. Both the fish keep their money, which is great. This guy looks really bad. I think I'm actually going to isolate with a raise. A 3-bet this guy, a little bit light. I feel like he's going to fold. He's folded from this position the most. Yeah, that's good. Get a nice fold there. Even if he called, we still would have a decent hand. Rec Gambler is actually a recreational player. This guy's a fish. These are really good tables to play at. We definitely want to extend our session a little bit here. Limps, limps, limps. Once again, it's 4 big blinds, 5 big blinds, 6 big blinds, or 4 big blinds, 5 big blinds, 5.5 big blinds. Now, Nate usually just folds. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet, and then hopefully they both just fold. This guy calls. That's completely fine. We still have a decent ace. Yep, they both fold. Take it down. Not bad at all. If it folds to me, I'll raise, but it's almost certainly not going to fold to me with these fish. They're probably going to limp. This guy decides just to raise under the gun. Call. Gonna check fold here. There's nothing for us. This guy just ships it. I could have guessed that one. Poor guy folds. Min. 2-bet. On the flop with top pair. Bad kicker. Then stacked off on the turn. The Apollo's just like, these guys seem really nitty, and this guy just seems like he folds a lot. Yep, take it down. That's small sizing. Works out. Draw and see. Things have been going well. Guy wins a pretty big size, decent sized pot. Definitely want to raise it up over here. Go for the, just hopefully take it down. Nice. We don't have to play ace-6 every time. We've been really active, and ace-6 is a better stealing hand than it is like an actual hand to play. So we're going to just let that one go. Unless you have a flop like that, then ace-6 looks beautiful. Just got a size to isolate. It's not a bad idea. Certainly what you want to be doing. Ace-queen offsuit. This guy, absolute, just like one of the biggest whales I've ever seen in my life. Just refuses to do. Well, these guys seem to be folding. Both of them call. It's another good opportunity just to bet. Although if we get played back at all, we're going to have to fold. It's nice, we take it down. And with that, I believe we've actually managed to bring the session back. Keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed. I'll play for another 15 minutes, and then I'll call it a day there. These are some really bad players I still just want to be playing with as much as I can. Even Jack-7 suited becomes a raise against players like this. Little min raise, no problem. You can still hit a flush or some other options. Certainly just going to fold now. This guy seems kind of crazy. Ace-7 offsuit's a fold. Crazy in the sense that all it takes is one set to stack him. Do, 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 do. Three eights. I think I just want to start betting. Keep betting. Oh, take it down this time. No worries there. Fold 9-10 offsuit. 7-3 offsuit's going to be a fold. Yep. My friend is now complaining to me that he needs a break from poker, which is definitely true. That guy has been getting slaughtered in the streets. That guy wins a big pot over there. How did this happen? I'll go ahead and raise. I just want to play as many pots in position versus these players as possible. Definitely are going to fold to a 3-bet. Yep, this guy wants to mini raise, which is fine. Flop a king. Just going to bet. This actually could be a little bit overplaying our hand. Kings and 8s now. Definitely bet. Actually, I don't beat aces, so maybe I shouldn't go for that big sizing. But I don't think that guy's got aces. Check 8 offsuit's gonna be a fold. Whoops, I am so sorry. What should I do? This guy seems really bad, so is this guy. Volatile, though. We could definitely end this session up $50 or down $50 playing with these kind of people, these kinds of players. Pocket 8s. Think I'm better off just calling and essentially playing these as a set mine, which I hit, which means I'm definitely going to raise. This is how we end up plus a bunch of money. That's how we end up down a bunch of money. That's a really bad card for us. A call. It's really bad. Yep, have to fold. Oh. There's simply no winning there. If we filled up on the river, we would have stacked him, but that was the only way that was going to happen. I think we played the hand fine. Ace-7 offsuit's a fold. Pocket 3s. How did he play this one? I'm guessing he raised it after it folded. I just limped. This guy's an absolute clown. Yep. I could have guessed that one. Ace-9 offsuit. Definitely going to be raising here. This guy also seems like a fish. 325. Not a bad time to pick up pocket aces. Just don't think this guy folds, so I'm just going to raise. Well, how often does this guy raise the flop? Pretty often. So, I mean, we just had to get the money in there. Definitely think we could just do this. Aces and nines. River doesn't always bet. I think I'm just going to check call. Yep. Don't think I was going to win if I bet there, so I think check calling made the most sense. That was a good hand to win. Obviously, we lost over here, which sucked, but it was a very, very small loss. King 6. This guy's really, really crazy. I mean, Apollo's just going to shove it over this guy, most certainly. Maybe he'll just call. He's probably just going to shove it over him. Oh, this guy's got like aces, dude. Oh, really? Ace 10 versus 5-4? Not looking good for 5-4. Nope. I mean, that makes perfect sense. This guy's actually just out of his mind right now. Tilted. Bet. After. So, it has not gone poorly today at all. Just finishing up our last 5 minutes here. Done a good job. Just been able to try to hopefully we can get the last of this fish's money without much turmoil. King 9 offsuit's good enough to play. Especially when nobody really 3-bets you. Actually, this guy 3-bets, but he folded. Gonna raise, and then hopefully, potentially just stack off with that guy. $66. 324. The fact that he's pausing so long, I really just don't think he even has me beat. Yeah, he doesn't. Oh, so that was good. Just calling him down there. If I get re-raise, I'm going to fold. But, what if he shoves? I think he's got me beat. Yeah. How exactly did that happen? I was distracted by the other table. Let me check. Oh, he bets $1. I call. A raise. Yeah, I should have just kept it small. Should have just kept it small. bet and hope it works out. Oh, he's going to bet again for $1. He did this last time with having it, so I'm just going to assume he's got it again. He usually just checks. He is not big into betting, only betting 22% of the time. Even though it's super small, I really have no draw. I didn't even have a backdoor flush draw or anything, so I think we definitely had to give that up. Definitely want to raise it up here, though. Oh, looks like this guy got a bunch of money again. Let's see what happened. Queen 4 is a fold. I guess he rebought. Like last hand. Yeah, I guess he rebought. And then got ace king all in, probably pre-flop versus eights or something. Yeah. Gonna fold a7 offsuit to this middle position open. 15% opening range. A7 is not even close to good. This guy's just gone off the rails crazy, though. I'm going to play one more orbit, then I'm going to be done for the day. Yep, he's just going to ship it. So chop it up. Just going to sit out next big blind. Both my tables. And call it a successful day. This guy's a recreational player. Takes him down with 8-2. It's definitely a tilter. Don't really see a point in raising. I think it's just going to get murky if we do. Might as well just call. Plan is just to make a pair and call it down. Which we did. It's not a bad start. We do have the 10 of spades for the backdoor draw. Making a set versus this guy is definitely our best way of winning. If we make a set, we're probably going to get his entire stack. What if I just... Was he ever folded to a 2-bet? Nope. We just fold then. He's 4. It's good enough to raise. Just trying to get it in versus this guy. If he checks to me, I'm going to bet. Queen again. This doesn't seem like the kind of guy we want to be double barreling. Just check it down. Makes it 2 on the river. No worries. Make a set on my way out. That is pretty good, man. Just gonna bet, and hopefully I can win a big pot. Gonna raise. Take it down. Alright, not a bad ending. Oh, I guess I skipped a big blind. So we're going to play another rotation. How lucky us. Folding. Definitely just wanted to get the money in there with the set. Last hand of the day. Whoops, can't do that. Can't do that, don't want to do that. Last hand of the play and explain. Take it down. Alright, not a bad session. During the session, at our maximum loss, we are down $116. We're down about $110, about 2 buy-ins. Through focus, we were able to not lose our minds, not tilt off the face of the earth, not compound the issues, and we were able to find our rhythm, honestly, to the help of some very, very bad players. But we were able to pick it back up and still end the day plus $40, plus $38. Not a bad session for NL50. We were obviously, through table selection, able to find the biggest fish ever. That was actually, I haven't seen tables that good in NL50, or haven't played tables that good in NL50 in a long time. Those players were actually atrocious. So, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I hope you guys have a great day.